Stop me if you've heard this before. Good luck, have a great contest, and enjoy the greatest sporting event around, a high school state championship. Now, for those of us in the wrestling community, we've known that our state wrestling tournament, and specifically the state wrestling finals, that's the best high school event you can attend that the KHSAA produces. There's nothing like seeing the finalists run out for the face-off, seeing what goes on in those 6 minutes in the overtime period. Is this match going to end by a fall? Is it going to be a last-second takedown? Can somebody fight off a takedown long enough? In this video, you're going to see, in my opinion, the top 14 matches that remind us why we love the sport of wrestling. And one more thing before we start. These are in complete random order, and keep in mind, these are my opinion. So enjoy it for what it is, entertainment. Let's get into the video. In 1994, in the 119-pound weight class, Greg Woodring from Union County squared off against a returning state champion, Joe Carr Jr. from Woodford County. Joe was the first ever 8th grader to win a high school state championship. In September of 2022, Greg Woodring drove into Hopkinsville to meet up with me to do this review video. When we done Joe Carr's 93, 95, 96, and 97 review videos, he didn't want to watch it because it still matters. It mattered to Greg. It matters to Joe. Both you guys, you know I love you. You know I respect you. But to me, what makes this match something that reminds us why we love the sport of wrestling is Joe needs a reversal, or he needs to get off the bottom to either tie or take the lead. Greg, in the third period, he has got to hold on to Joe. He's got to keep control the whole period. And he does. The ending with Joe rolling on his back after the match is over and Greg looking up to the heavens, giving a sign of thanks, that is a very, very powerful moment and reminds me of exactly why the state championship, it still matters all these years later. In 2011, the 130-pound weight class, Jace Carr of Union County squared off against Kyle Terry of Central Hardin. This match has one of the most iconic shots you will ever see, with Jace Carr completely on his head, holding on so Kyle doesn't get the reversal in the last seconds of the match. This match would go to overtime with Jace Carr winning a 6-4 decision. Kyle Terry was a senior coming in undefeated. Jace was a sophomore, and he went on to be a 2011-2012 individual state champion. He was also in the finals in 2013. I'm not sure who took this photo, but whoever did, you have my respect. I would like to see these two guys recreate that for a 50-year anniversary when the time comes. In 2000, in the 215-pound weight class, it wasn't a wrestling match. It was two loaded freight trains on a collision course for destruction, and that's exactly what we got. Aaron Rearen of Oldham County faced off against Craig Collinssworth of Covington Scott. Now, as you're seeing, this might be one of, if not the most physical state finals match in history. This match goes to overtime with Aaron Rearen winning a 5-4 decision. The post-match celebration by Aaron and his teammates from Oldham County rushing the mat back at the dungeon, that shows just how close the fans were to the floor. You could feel the energy coming through the screen. And I'm sure he was probably glad the match is over, because I'm not sure how much more punishment these guys' bodies could have taken. But on a more pleasant note, Aaron and Craig played football together in college at Georgetown, along with the heavyweight state champion that year from 2000, Will Rabatine. In 1987, Simon Kenton had all but locked up the team state championship. With 3 wrestlers in the finals that year, 98-pound Jeff Everman led them off. He faced off against 1986 returning state champion 98 pounds, David Donley from Christian County. Now, as you can see here by the footage taken at Atherton for the state finals, Simon Kenton had a massive crowd. This was, again, in 1987. Social media wasn't a thing. Email wasn't a thing. Cell phones were around, but very few people had them. The drive from Independence to Louisville, maybe hour and a half, but for the amount of people, the amount of Simon Kenton fans that loaded up, come down to Louisville to watch their team that they support, students, parents, grandparents, aunts, uncles, you name it, neighbors, church members that made the trip. With 3 in the finals, with the team championship all but locked up, you have to go out and let the world know, hey, we didn't do this by accident. Jeff Everman goes out, gets the fall, and is treated like an absolute hero when he runs off the mat. The crowd goes insane, as you'll hear in this clip. In 1999, in the heavyweight class, it was a battle of the Cardinals as returning 1998 state champion Chris Floyd from Wayne County took on Joey Stepp of Sheldon Clark. It should be noted that in this era, Sheldon Clark and Wayne County were in the same district and the same region. Yes, Monticello to Inez isn't the shortest trip you'll ever make, but believe it or not, they were in the same district. Chris Floyd and Joey Stepp squared off in the district finals, in the regional finals, and again in the state championship bout. Chris goes on to win a 5-4 decision over Joey. I had the pleasure of doing Chris Floyd's 1998 and 1999 state championship review videos. I also had the pleasure of doing Joey Stepp's review video for this match because he had never seen it. And he went on to a successful career playing football at Marshall University. He said this was the one thing in his athletic career that still haunts him. Chris Floyd won both the district matchup and the regional matchup, and it was all but a given that Chris and Joey would meet up again in the state championship. Even though the match ends on a 5-4 decision, this match could have went either way. With the second year of the KHSAA Girls State Wrestling Tournament being in 2025, Lafayette High School came away with the team state championship. But in the 145-pound weight class, Lafayette also had their first individual state champion. Amy Velasco of Lafayette took on Cali Nichols of Davies County. Even though the match ended with a 10-3 decision, it was 3-3 going into overtime. Amy Velasco got a takedown straight to near fall for the win. Why is this so important? Why did I include this? Because, in my opinion, this has been the best girls match that we've had so far of the state tournament. What Amy and Cali were able to do in that match, the way that they went to overtime, and Amy in her video said that she'd never been pushed like that. She said she'd never been tired like that, but the way she fought through, the way that she wanted to be an individual, and team state champion to be the first like that in Lafayette history. That should be a benchmark. That should be what all the young girl wrestlers in our state and across this country strive to be. Yep, I may be tired, but I want to be a state champion. I can be tired later. From 2003, in the 140-pound weight class, Scott Cooper of LaRue County faced off against Luke Metzger of Henry Clay. Scott is the returning 2002 140-pound state champion and 2001 135-pound state runner-up. Luke is the 2000 103 state champion and the 2002 135-pound state champion. He was also third place in 2001 at 119 pounds. Both of these guys were seniors. Their last match in high school. And man, was it a show. Scott Cooper wins a 7-6 decision, getting a reversal right before the buzzer literally sounds. If you don't believe me, listen and watch for yourself. From 2001, in the heavyweight class, Michael Ramsey of Campbell County squared off against Marlon Dill from North Hardin. The final score ended with Michael Ramsey winning an 18-13 decision. As of the production of this video, this is still the highest scoring heavyweight state championship finals match in the history of our state tournament. Although this is the heavyweight class, these two wrestled like 119-pounders. Agile, moving, the way they didn't stop, the way they kept going, the way they kept scoring points. This was actually the first match that was retired in my Kentucky High School Wrestling State Championship Hall of Fame video. Over the past couple years since we've done the review video with Michael Ramsey, it never fails. At every single meet I go to, somebody brings this match up. Whether they were there, they watched it on the review series, they couldn't believe that these two mammoth human beings were able to move and were able to wrestle and keep up the pace like they did throughout that entire state finals bout. Yes, this is called the Top 14 Countdown Series, but I took the poetic license to combine two matches into one entry because it's a rematch. And let's face it, who doesn't love a good rematch in a combat sport? Tyson Holyfield, Shamrock Gracie, Stone Cold Steve Austin, and The Rock. From 2023 and 2024 at the 190-pound weight class, Uriah Verszie from Paducah Tillman versus Lane Kaiser from Trinity. In the 2023 match, Uriah dropped from the 215-pound weight class, which, oh, by the way, he was the 2022 215-pound state champion, down to 190 pounds. With 6 seconds to go in the match, Uriah gets the fall over Lane, leading his team to the first ever Paducah Tillman Team State Wrestling Championship. But oh, was the rematch worth it. In 2024, final score 9-8, with Lane Kaiser coming out on top. $1986. Who doesn't love rival schools from the same county separated by 3.7 miles, squaring off for the Team State Wrestling Championship. Hopkinsville was the 1985 Team State Champions, but their arch rival, Christian County, the Colonels, they were nipping at their heels to take the top spot as Team State Champions. Let's walk through the 1986 state finals bouts and you'll understand why this is an entry. In the 98-pound weight class, Christian County, David Donley won by a fall. In the 112-pound weight class, Antonio Earthman, Christian County, was pinned by David Ritchie. In the 126-pound weight class, Jimmy Perrin was beat from Christian County. In the 138-pound weight class, Andy Lee from Christian County won by a fall over David Poindexter of Hopkinsville, scoring valuable team points. In the 145-pound weight class, Aaron Herring won by a decision for Hopkinsville. In the 167-pound weight class, Steve Bailey won by a decision for Hopkinsville. In the 185-pound weight class, Roger Holloway won by decision from Hopkinsville. And in the finals of heavyweight, Gartha Herring, also known as Gator, won by a fall for Hopkinsville. 8 of the 12 state finals included a Hopkinsville and or Christian County wrestler. Hopkinsville won the state championship by 6.5 team points. Our next entry occurs over a 4-year period. Cole Thomas from Morale High School, in my opinion, has the hardest 4 bouts in the state finals, and he won all 4. 2019, an overtime win against Spencer Moore, who, oh, by the way, was a 2020-2021 state champion and was ranked as high as 4th in the nation as a senior. Spencer went on to the University of North Carolina, where he wrestled for the Tar Heels, qualifying for the 2025 NCAA Division I tournament. As of the production of this video, Spencer has transferred to Illinois, where he will wrestle for the Illini in the upcoming season. In 2020, Cole beat from Grant County Isaac Thornton in the finals. In 2021, Cole beat George Faree from Louisville Trinity. Oh, by the way, George goes on to be a 2022 and 2023 state champion. And then the finals again in 2022, Cole wrestles Isaac Thornton, this time wrestling for Walton Verona, who, oh, by the way, Isaac won an individual state championship at Walton Verona in 2021. And one more thing about Isaac Thornton, he went on to wrestle for Indiana University for the Hoosiers. In all 4 matches Cole had in the finals, he beat a future state champion. Nobody that has won a 4 or 5-time state championship has accomplished this feat. Being able to remain focused, not catching senioritis, not slipping up, and becoming a 4-time state champion, Cole was on point his entire high school career. Making it to the state championship, that's an accomplishment. Becoming a state champion, as of the production of this video, there's only been 837. But being in the finals 4 straight years and having 4 matches with 1 false move could have ended that streak. That is to be applauded. From 2022, in the 144-pound weight class, Reese Goss from Johnson Central squared off against Gavin Andrroni from Woodford County. You might be wondering, what's so special about this match? In 1991, Reese's dad, Chris Goss, was the first state wrestling champion at Sheldon Clark High School and coach Jim Matney. As a freshman, Reese transferred to Johnson Central from the Woodford County program to wrestle for coach Jim Matney. In September of 2021, Jim Matney passed away from complications with the COVID-19 illness. As a senior, Reese fought through adversity, making it to the state finals and winning an overtime match against his former teammate by a score of 5-3. Coach Jim Matney had a tradition of carrying his state champions off the mat. After the match ended, Reese's dad, Chris, continued the tradition in Matney's honor, carrying him off the mat. My friends, sometimes it's more than just 6 minutes. From 2013, in the 160-pound weight class, Hunter French from St. Xavier squared off against returning state champion Stephan Meyers from Campbell County. Stephan was an Ohio State champion, and he was the 2012 152-pound state champion. Hunter won the match by a 4-3 decision, leading his St. Xavier Tigers to a team state championship by a score of 203.5 to the nearest competitor, Campbell County, at 193. Hunter would also go on to be voted the most outstanding wrestler. On St. Xavier State Championship rings, they voted to have Hunter throwing up the X towards the crowd after the match was over, enshrined on the side of their ring. And there you have it. That's my top 14 matches that remind us why we love the sport of wrestling. You can tell me how much you agree or how much you disagree in the comments below. But either way, I hope you enjoyed. Thank you all for watching. We will see you guys and girls on the mats. And to the young wrestlers watching this, make your own memory. Do your best to make your state finals a match that people will remember and talk about forever.